Hey everyone, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm William.
I'm Brian.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, and today we are covering Salamanders.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shout out to
Welcome, adventurers, to the Dungeoncast.
Hey Brian,
Hey, Will.
how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's good to hear. I'm doing well as well.
It's a little had a face itch. I was getting it.
Oh yeah, it comes with beards. So it is time to take a break from the horrifying hellscapes of the Abyss and the Nine Hells, and time to take a short vacation to a place pretty much just as bad.
Oh, okay.
The elemental plane of fire.
Oh, so that's like adjacent to...
It's adjacent in experience, I would say. Maybe not in planological geography. I don't know what you call that.
Right. It's more chaotic than lawful in terms of
I
hell.
guess so. I think it is more chaotic. It's more neutral than anything. But here we will visit with a creature who, in our world, is a rather cute, albeit slimy amphibian found near bodies of waters, especially after rainfall. But here in D&D is a horrific reptilian fire monster with a nasty disposition, a terrible history of slavery, and can be found in the most uninhabitable locations imaginable. That's right. It's time to talk about salamanders.
Salamanders. Those nasty slavers.
Yeah, pretty much. So, sinuous and sinister, wreathed in flames like the classic images of a soul burning in hell, the salamander is truly the stuff of nightmares. Combining two common representations of evil snakes and fire salamanders do their best to live up to their opponent's preconceived notions. A salamander's form combines the well-muscled torso of a humanoid with the lower body of a constrictor snake. Individuals might range in length from a mere 4 feet to a whopping 32 feet. Oh, we don't have the metrics here. We don't have the metrics here.
Hold on. How many?
4 feet?
4 feet is like 1.3 meters.
Oh, and 32 feet. What do you got?
32 feet convert meters. I can barely do like dice arithmetic. Are you serious? 32 feet to 32 meters is not what I'm looking for. Why didn't Google just give me like a converter?
It usually does. Well, I think you put 32F, which confused it. There
we got 9.7536 meters, baby.
There we go. Although salamanders are asexual, their thin faces have a distinctly masculine appearance. Typical salamander's craggy features include a hooked nose and jutting chin. A salamander's entire body is covered in thick scales of red and black that provide excellent protection from physical attacks. Spines of chitinous material poke out from between a salamander's scales.
Ooh, some chitin spikes?
Chitin spikes.
That's cool, I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's got a cool factor.
What if I had chitin spikes coming out of my elbows?
I mean, you'd be intimidating.
I'd be a pretty good TIE fighter after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get a +1 in intimidation for sure. The oily liquid that oozes from the tips of these barbs is a natural waste product of the salamander's metabolism. Okay, now we're sliding from cool into gross.
We're sliding on these oils from cool into gross.
When exposed to the intense heat generated by the creature's body, the substance bursts into flames. Okay, we're back in cool territory, creating a fiery aura that radiates no more than 1 inch or something in metric from the salamander. You want to give me that in centimeters?
Inch. How many? 1?
1 inch. Yeah.
I'm doing this live. That's 0.0254 meters, which is probably not very helpful, but it's 2.5 centimeters.
There
roughly,
we go.
2.54. Why would I even bother like estimating or rounding when I have the actual number? Sorry, everyone. Sorry to our overseas listeners.
The temperature of this aura is so great that direct contact with it deals fire damage, boils away liquids, and incinerates paper. So they have chitinous spikes coming from their body that ooze an oil that is constantly on fire.
Yeah, so they're kind of still wet like a salamander would be, but also not wet. Also very hard, it sounds like.
Yes, very not wet because it's always burning.
Right, that's where I'm at. Like, is it wet because it's oily and like that's why it can stay wet, or is it just not wet at all? Is it just...
I want to say not wet at all.
A salamander walks into a bar. The party sees it and is like, oh, is it wet or what?
Even approaching a salamander is dangerous, since flesh blisters and burns in its proximity. Their yellow eyes glow like candles in the deep-set hollows of their hawkish faces. Their weapons glow red and sear the bodies of their enemies on contact.
Cool. So the weapon does, so they can't.
Well, the weapon does, but also just kind of standing next to him does as well.
Okay, yeah. There's not a fire elemental, right? It's like an actual monster. that lives in the plane of fire?
Yes, but I think it falls under the elemental category, but it is
okay.
a creature of flesh and blood.
Gotcha.
Before we get into what salamanders in D&D are like, though, did you know that salamanders have a ton of real-life mythological lore in the real world?
Ooh, I guess I know a little. Like, there's salamanders get thrown around. I want to hear what you got, though.
Okay. Salamander is an amphibian of the order of Urodela, which, as with many real creatures, often has been ascribed fantastic and sometimes occult qualities by pre-modern authors, as in the allegorical descriptions of animals in medieval bestiaries, not possessed by the real organism itself, though. The legendary salamander is often depicted as a typical salamander in shape with a lizard-like form, but is usually ascribed an affinity with fire, sometimes specifically elemental fire. In medieval Europe, bestiaries, fanciful depictions of salamanders include a satyr-like creature in a circular wooden tub. That's a weird one. A worm penetrating flames. I don't like the wording on that one. A winged dog. Okay. And a small bird in flames.
A satyr in the tub sounds on brand.
It does. Of all the traits ascribed to salamanders, the ones relating to fire have stood out the most prominently. This connection probably originates from a behavior common to many species of salamander. Hibernating in and under rotting logs. When the wood was brought indoors and put on the fire, the creatures mysteriously appeared from the flames.
Oh, no.
People used to think that like flames, salamanders spontaneously generated from fire.
They were really just trying to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yes, exactly, because they're burning alive.
They're like, hey, what the fuck?
They're like, oh my god,
It's my house.
Yes, exactly.
I noticed you differentiated regular fire from elemental fire.
So, I mean, magical fire.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was maybe looking for
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the purest of flame.
Well,
And
I think
they're inherent to being
I think
magical
what
in
it
that
means
way.
when it says that is elemental fire in like the alchemical sense, where like the original alchemists in real life perceived like the elements as being fire, air, water, and earth, versus like nowadays we know what elements actually are. So that's that. There you go.
Okay.
Leonardo da Vinci wrote the following on the salamander. This has no digestive organs and gets
Whoa.
no food. This is Leonardo da Vinci talking.
It's like I'm in the fucking Renaissance, bro.
I should have an Italian accent. I don't know why I don't.
Okay.
This has no digestive organs and gets no food but from the fire, in which it constantly renews its scaly skin. The salamander, which renews its scaly skin in the fire for virtue.
Ooh.
Later, Paracelsus, a Swiss physician, alchemist, lay theologian, and philosopher of the German Renaissance, suggested that salamanders were the elementals of fire, which has had substantial influence on the role of salamanders in the occult. Paracelsus, contrary to the prevalent belief at the time, considered salamanders not to be devils, but similar to humans, only lacking a soul, along with giants, dwarves, mermaids, elves, and elemental spirits in the human form. These were scientists of the time.
Oh yeah, I know. There's a lot of religious undertones.
Yeah.
Like I was raised Catholic, and I had leaders of the Catholic Church tell me that, like, I don't mean like the Pope. I mean like in my community.
No, the Pope himself.
The
came
Pope
to you.
came to me and he was like, "Dogs don't go to heaven. They don't have souls." I was like, "What are you talking about? What the fuck are you saying?"
So back to the salamander. The salamander is found throughout French folklore, although in differing form. In addition, or sometimes instead of, its fire symbolism, it was attributed to powerful poison. Some legends say that merely by falling into a well, it would poison the water, and by climbing a fruit tree, poison the fruit. Its highly toxic breath was reportedly enough to swell a person until their skin broke. Oh God, that's a French word.
Wow.
And I'm gonna say it wrong, and I'm gonna do my best, and I apologize to all our possible French or
Say
French
it like
speaking
Brad
listeners.
Pitt from Inglourious Bastards.
How would you say this word?
Auvergne.
That's exactly how you would say it. And
It's
and
Auvergne.
and Alvernay is how I'm going to pronounce it.
Auvergne. That's really good. It made it sound like wine.
I'm sure it's not how it's pronounced.
I have the power of the internet at my
in
disposal.
Alvernay, which is a region in central France, it supposedly did the same to herds of cattle. This gained it the name of bellows breath. Like the real animal, the legendary salamander breathed seldom. Unlike the real salamander, the only way to kill one was said to be to lock it in a confined space so that it breathed its own poison.
Oh, shit.
Oh, gosh. Is
Yeah,
it
we were
really?
a syllable
Oh,
off. It's just Alverne.
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 And good old Alverne. The Bretons, Celts who lived in northwest France, feared it so they did not dare say its real name for the fear it would hear and then kill them.
Hold on, what?
So this thing is like Voldemort to them. Like, they wouldn't even speak about this thing.
Thou that slithers.
Yeah, exactly.
Thou that scuttles.
Indeed. All right, back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, sweet.
As a native of the elemental plane of fire, a salamander does not think like a creature of the material plane. It has no drive to propagate because their asexual budding is an automatic process. It has no drive to find sustenance since smoke and flames provide all the nutrients it requires. It has no need to secure shelter because its environment poses no danger to it.
If the elemental plane of fire is getting low on salamanders, then it just like, I guess, branches in the elemental plane of earth and like eats some trees so that there are logs to burn.
There we go. I like that.
I need wet logs. A lot of adventurers running here killing all my salamanders lately.
What then motivates a salamander, you might ask? In a word, fire. Born of fire, nurtured by it, and surrounded by it constantly, salamanders live by its rules and embrace its strengths. Fire burns, fire consumes, fire destroys. Fire represents the ultimate in strength and power, and salamanders judge all things by their interactions with it.
Like the will of fire from Naruto.
The will of fire? What?
Yeah.
That doesn't ring a bell.
They're the village hidden in the leaves, but they embody the will of fire.
Okay.
And whenever bad guys are like, how come this dude won't give up? I was like, oh, it's the will of fire. Fuck.
Why don't I remember that?
It's almost like it's like a main theme.
Is
I think,
it?
for most of the show? Yeah.
Wow, you're blowing my mind right now. It's been a long time, but
Yeah.
all right. So Earth and stone smoke and crack beneath a salamander's fiery form, but withstand destruction, and so they earn its respect. Metals bend to the will of fire, but resist complete annihilation, and so the salamander employs it as a tool. Gems capture and reflect the light of fire, splitting it into a dazzling display of color and brilliance, and so the salamander prizes gems. All else is of little consequence. At the touch of fire, liquids boil away, paper turns to ash, and the creatures of the material plane cower. Thus, all of these earn only contempt from a salamander.
That whole last paragraph would make the most fucking metal, like death metal lyrics ever.
Yeah, I should convert it.
That would be so good. Just put it to some riffs, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. These cruel, rapacious predators destroy all they encounter, leaving nothing but devastation in their wake. Even when such destruction is not their goal, it is nevertheless inevitable, for little can withstand prolonged exposure to a salamander's consuming flames.
Damn.
So much like a fire elemental, like they just burn everything wherever they go just by existing. But also they enjoy destroying, so that doesn't help as well.
Yeah, so like if they're in the elemental plane of fire, they can't like destroy other fire, right?
No, yeah, that's why, and they're surrounded by it. Like they enjoy fire. Fire is like the thing that they live by.
So it's just like chilling at home, but sometimes they got to go out and destroy, or they just wait for people to show up so they can destroy.
Okay, so I think it's more along the lines of, I guess, yeah, some salamanders would do like raiding parties and stuff, but like if they see something, like if they see a group of adventurers, they're probably going to attack because, you know, these fleshy beings don't belong in their fireland unless they can withstand it. In which case, like, then they earn the respect of the salamanders. So like, salamanders attack, you beat the salamanders, but let's say you don't kill the salamanders. Salamanders might not attack anymore because they're like, oh, never mind, you are of the flame.
Oh, they're down.
The will of fire.
Sick. The will of fire. It's fucking Naruto. He's here.
Salamanders adore power and they delight in setting fire to things. Outside their home plane, they play among the burning skeletons of charred trees as forest fires rage around them, or slither down the slopes of erupting volcanoes to linger in fire pits and magma flows.
I have a terrible habit on this show of asking questions that are about to be addressed in the very next paragraph.
Oh yeah, no, which is, I think that's actually good. It means you're listening, and it means that like we're on the same page in our like
the
line
flow of
thought.
information.
Yeah.
It seems intuitive.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Native to a harsh environment where only the strong can survive, salamanders devote much of their time to games of warfare and social dominance, largely because they themselves are prey for more powerful beings, such as the Ifrit. Salamanders take great delight in venting their frustrations on weaker races.
They play chess with each other with like chunks of coal, burning coal.
Yeah, I could see that actually. That'd be
Little
kind of
war
cool.
games.
Yeah. The inherent heat that emanates from a salamander is an asset to their skills as metalsmiths, allowing them to soften and shape iron and steel with their bare hands. So they don't need forges; they are forges.
That's fucking cool.
It's pretty cool. Although not as meticulous as Azers, salamanders number among the greatest metalsmiths in all the planes.
It's a pretty good adventuring hook. Like, I am the forge. They're like, where the adventurers are like, we're here to find the forge. It's like,
You found him.
hey, check this out. Yikes. Let me pull back my fire.
The elemental plane of fire is an endless expanse of flame. Huge sheets of black basalt float in the oceans of magma, and all of it has been ablaze since the creation of the multiverse. The environment is the natural habitat of salamanders and the one with which they are most familiar. The curse of being an elemental, however, is that creatures from other planes can call upon you to do their bidding, if even for only a short period of time. Summoning spells expose salamanders to a wide variety of terrains and settings, and they are capable of surviving in any kind of natural environment except underwater. Given a choice, salamanders gravitate towards the hottest, driest locales that they can find to establish their bases of operation. A subterranean lair makes an ideal refuge, second only to an active volcano. The dryness of the desert appeals to salamanders, but the distinct lack of fuel in such terrain poses a major drawback, since the long-term blaze is vital for raising young. Hilly areas make a good salamander lairs, providing easy access to underground areas, but still offering a good amount of fuel.
It makes me think like when you go to the most extreme weather condition areas in the material plane, that would like have like you go to the middle of the desert, right? Like the dead center where it gets the hottest or whatever, however deserts work.
Yeah.
And you find salamanders there. That seems like a cool thing. Like, you're in the fucking thick of that shit when you're seeing like elemental enemies.
Yeah, like we're at such an extreme of the material plane that we're on the border of like of the outer plane type of crap.
Yeah, they're like, well, we haven't seen a salamander in about a week, so we're probably almost out of the desert.
Yeah, I like that. I like that train of thought. Mining operations also make mountains attractive sites for lairs. Stranded salamanders clusters, which is like a group, sometimes offer their metalworking expertise to dwarven clans in exchange for sanctuary and a semblance of normal life. Many dwarven clans regularly summon creatures such as salamanders or fire and earth elementals to help run their mining operations. A little bit of synergy there.
Mountains are hot shit, man. They're like very popular, like housing market up in the mountains for D&D.
For D&D, yeah, like that's where the monsters roam.
Everyone is competing for space up there.
Up in the mountains, yeah. We got red dragons, we got silver dragons, we got salamanders and dwarves, and
they're all making tunnels.
Absolutely, all of them. It's amazing more mountains just don't collapse under the fact that they're hollowed out.
That's probably a fucking thing, man.
It could be a thing.
Probably a thing. Stone giants have to go up there and fucking remake that
shit.
Like,
you got purple worms fucking shit up. So perhaps the most home-like place that a stranded cluster of salamanders can find on the material plane is the smoking caldera of an active volcano. An added bonus is the prevalence of portals that usually link the material plane with the elemental plane of fire in such environments. Experienced salamanders know that the best chance of getting home is locating such a portal within a bubbling lava pool or a fiery jet of ignited gas.
Ooh, wow. I'm having so many good ideas for like, hey, you're walking up the mountain terrain. Make a dexterity saving throw because the fucking ground is collapsing beneath you.
There we go.
Everybody be digging.
Indeed.
They can't stop.
They
won't stop.
They can't stop, won't stop.
They're destroying the mountain. They don't care.
But we will stop with a short rest now.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to the team of Gorgon. Shout out to the team of Gorgon. Oh yeah. Shout out to the team of Gorgon. Shout out to the team of Gorgon. Oh yeah.
We've returned.
Indeed we have.
We're fucking back. Yes. Podcast.
Yes.
Podcast. Go. Podcast. Activate.
I'm trying. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Long ago, the Ifrit hired Azers to build the fabled city of brass, but then failed in their attempts to enslave that mystical race when the Azers' work was done. Turning instead to strike against the Salamanders, the Ifrit had better luck in establishing a slave race, which they used to unleash war and destruction across the plains.
Okay. Ifrit
They're fire genies.
is a genie.
Yeah.
And then the Azers are the little flaming bearded people.
Yeah, and they have like
giant
faces
kin?
made of metal, kind of.
That's
Yeah.
You used them in a game.
I did.
I just don't really
You
know
don't
the
know
lore.
lore.
I know the Ifrit lore.
They'll get their own episode for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah. Where was it? Oh, yeah. The Ifrit suffer salamanders to serve no other master. When Ifrit encounter salamanders dedicated to the cults of elemental evil or some other entity, they slay them rather than taking them back as slaves.
Wow.
Not all salamanders dwell under the yoke of the Ifrit, however. Many roam free and are most often encountered in clusters, small groups of 3 to 5 individuals. On the elemental plane of fire, clusters belong to a tribe, which in turn might owe allegiance to either a king or a council. A salamander tribe consists of 6 to 8 clusters that share a communal larvae blaze and metalworking facility. Although salamanders follow the destructive impulses of their fiery nature, slavery under the Ifrit has impacted the culture of free salamanders. They rule their own societies according to the Ifrit model, in which larger and stronger salamanders claim dominion over their lesser kin.
Oh no, they were taught slavery and now it's just part of their culture?
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's the worst. This is the worst kind of slavery we've covered so far in Dungeons and
It's
Dragons.
systemic, yes, absolutely.
Oh, jeez.
As salamanders age, they increase in size and status, rising to positions of power as cruel nobles among their kind. Nobles rule wandering bands of salamanders, which move across the elemental plane of fire, like desert nomads raiding other communities for treasure. Noble salamanders almost always rule over average salamander communities, either singly or as a group. Such oligarchies often owe allegiance to even more powerful creatures of fire, such as red dragons or Ifrit.
I forget that dragons just go wherever the fuck they want.
They really do. They really do. I mean, they're fucking dragons. Who's going to stop them?
Yeah, they're fucking dragons.
Away from their home plane, salamander groupings rarely expand beyond the cluster, since the local environment usually cannot support a larger population. There are 2 takes on salamander reproduction: 5e and pre-5e. Now, 5e's explanation is perfectly fine. Straightforward and sensible. 5e states that salamanders hatch from eggs that are 2-foot diameter spheres of smoldering obsidian. When a salamander is ready to hatch, it melts its way through its egg's thick shell and emerges as a fire snake. A fire snake matures into a salamander adult within a year.
Aw, little baby fire snake.
Pre-5e gets into the details of a crazy asexual reproduction process called budding.
Oh boy, here we fucking go.
And I want to talk about it.
Of course you do. The new Will is highly sexual.
No, it's just, I love it when D&D gets needlessly into the reproduction of a monster. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah, how many times have we done it? Wasn't the flail snail, reproduction thing crazy?
I think it might have been, but there's been a lot. There's been quite a few.
They just pseudopoded each other until a new snail.
That
was
sounds
born.
right, but I don't remember.
I don't remember what it was exactly.
So, a salamander reproduces asexually by budding, splitting off 1 larva every 10 years. Budding is an automatic function over which the salamander has no control. The process takes 1 week, after which the salamander is particularly vulnerable to attack until its body has recovered. The first sign of budding is a swelling at the tip of the salamander's tail. The lump grows and spreads upward through the tail, increasing in size each day. Salamanders are extremely irritable and more vicious than normal during this time. Because their butt's about to explode. From the 2nd to the 5th day, the lump slows the salamander's movement by 1/2 and prevents it from constricting. By the 6th day, the salamander's entire body is swollen and the creature is practically immobile.
My butt. Oh,
Exactly.
don't touch me.
Exactly. On the 7th day, the salamander's skin splits open, releasing the original adult salamander with a new skin plus 1 larva. For 1 week following the budding, the parent salamander's natural AC bonus is reduced while its new scales harden. It generally tries to avoid making constriction attacks during this time, since sustained pressure is extremely painful on the newly formed skin. Once the scales have reached their full hardness, the salamander is ready to resume its former activities. A larva must be incubated within a fire source for 1 full year to evolve into a mature salamander. Although dangerous in its own right, it cannot survive for long outside of fire. If prevented from returning to its nurturing flames for more than 1 minute, a larva cools rapidly and dies as its body hardens into a substance resembling charred wood.
Aw.
Because of this vulnerability, larva incubation chambers called blazes are heavily guarded and defended unto death.
Oh, shit.
The maturation process works much the same as budding. At the end of its year in the flames, the larva swells, tripling in size over the course of 1 week. At the end of the week, a larva's skin splits, releasing an adult salamander. Newly formed salamanders have the same vulnerabilities and restrictions as those that have just budded, and those limitations last for the same period of time.
And 1 year cooking time.
Yeah. So, not that salamanders actually get along with most creatures they meet on the elemental plane of fire, but salamanders absolutely despise Azers.
Well, yeah.
And for terrible reasons, believing that if the Ifrit had succeeded in dominating that race of elemental crafters, the salamanders would still be free.
Bummer.
Yeah, the Ifrit use this enmity to their own advantage, stoking the salamanders' hatred and pitting them against the Ifrit's former servants.
Oh,
The
wow.
Ifrit are despicable. That's all I have on salamanders, man.
Okay. We want
Any
to stat
questions?
block it? No, they're nasty.
They're nasty.
They're little bastards.
Yeah, but they're fun to use in a fight as a DM.
Sure. Yeah. It takes a long time to cook a salamander. You have to bake a lot of hatred into
You
it.
really do. Tell me about the salamander stat block, man.
Can I tell you about the fire snake first?
Sure,
'Cause
absolutely.
That's a stat block
Yeah.
here. So we got a fire snake, which is medium elemental neutral evil. So they are evil. Armor class is 14 natty. HP is 22 or 5d8. Speed's 30 feet. Going to do a little flame slither. Strength is 12 plus 1. Which one of these? Fuck it. Dexterity is 14 plus 2. Con is 11 plus 0. Intelligence 7 minus 2. Dumb little snake. Dumb little snake. So cute.
I mean, they're babies, though.
Dumb little baby. You don't
That's
know
a smart
anything.
baby. A 7 for a baby. I don't think it's too bad.
Okay. Wisdom is 10 plus 0, and charisma is 8 minus 1. You ugly, dumb little babies. Okay, we got damage vulnerability is cold. We got damage resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. Pretty good for a baby. Damage immunity, fire. Makes total sense. Dark vision, because everything has dark vision, for 60 feet. The passive perception of 10. Languages. It understands Ignan, which is a subsect of Primordial, but can't speak. Challenge rating is 1 and yields 200 experience points. Heated body. A creature that touches the snake or hits it with a melee attack while within 5 feet of it takes 3 or 1d6 fire damage. So that's going to be a lot of elemental plane stuff, like for fire specifically. Actions is we got the multi-attack. The snake makes 2 attacks, one with its bite and one with its tail. Pretty good for a little baby to have a multi-attack. A bite is a melee weapon attack with +3 to hit, reach of 5 feet on one target. It's going to hit for 3 or 1d4 plus 1 piercing damage, +3 or 1d6 fire damage. That's a lot for a challenge rating 1 creature.
Yeah, I guess so. They're feisty little things.
Tail is the melee weapon attack with +3 to hit with a reach of 5 feet on one target. It's going to hit for 3, 1d4 plus 1 bludgeoning damage, +3, 1d6 fire damage. So the exact same thing. It's weird that you gave it 2 different attacks.
Bludgeoning versus piercing, I suppose.
Oh, I guess, yeah, that is fair. All right, so some things resist one or the other. All right, so that's it for the fire snake. Let's go to the beefy adult salamander. This one's in the monster manual is wielding like a crazy spear. Is this a spear? It's got this like crescent moon thing on it.
I think it still counts as a spear.
Okay, so this is gonna stop you from like going all the way through someone, which I guess is fine, maybe depending.
Yeah,
on what
if you're looking to pull it back and not get it stuck, so
Ooh,
that's
I
probably
see, I
what
see.
that's for. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that hilt is curved very, very well for like going around a human body. Like see the stab, and then you use that to drag them down to the floor.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, we got a salamander of large elemental neutral evil. So this one's large. Armor class is 15 natty with 90 HP. That's 12d10 plus 24. Got a speed of 30 feet. Strength is 18, which is +4. Dex is 14 plus 2. Con is 15 plus 2. Intelligence 11 plus 0. Wisdom 10 plus 0. And charisma 12 plus 1.
So this is like a powerful adventurer level stats. Like you got an 18, a 14, a 15, and then dump stats 11, 10, 12.
Yeah,
12
not,
yeah.
not even dump.
Yeah,
really.
not even dump.
I mean,
really.
comparatively, right?
The salamander rolled well.
Yes, and it has damage vulnerability to cold, which is a huge buff for an adventurer. Damage resistance, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks, just like its little baby form. Immunity to fire, dark vision of 60 feet, passive perception of 10, speaks Ignan, is a challenge rating 5, yielding 1,800 experience points. Heated body, same thing as the baby. Is it the same damage? This was
Probably a higher damage.
2d7 or 2d6. This one gives out 3 or 1d6 of fire
So it's
damage.
double.
So yeah, bigger heated body damage buff here. And then we have heated weapons. Any metal melee weapon that the salamander wields deals an extra 3 or 1d6 fire damage on a hit included in the attack. Actions, multi-attack, salamander makes 2 attacks, one with its spear and one with its tail. So it learned in its adulthood that teeth are treasures, not tools. Well, and I had a coworker that taught me that. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Katie?
What about teeth though? I don't.
Teeth are treasures, not tools.
Is that a saying that she said?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Like, manage children.
Yes, which
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Spear, melee or ranged weapon attack, +7 to hit, reach of 5 feet, or range of 20 or 60 feet on one target. So I guess that's like a throw. Hit is going to be 11 or 2d6 plus 4 piercing damage, or 13 2d8 plus 4 piercing damage if used with 2 hands to make a melee weapon. Oh, there's the difference. So if you use, well, yeah, if they 2-hand it, they do more damage.
Yeah.
+3 1d6 fire damage. tail, melee weapon attack with +7 to hit, reach of 10 feet, one target. It's going to hit for 11 or 2d6 plus 4, bludgeoning damage +7, 2d6 fire damage, and the target is grappled. Very, very buffed tail going on. When you're grappled, creature speed becomes 0, and it can't benefit from any bonus to its speed.
Plus, they're taking all that heated body damage.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be right there, like, because you don't get disadvantage on attacks when you're grappled, but I think the grapple is going to also induce a restrain, which we'll get to. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated. The condition also ends if an effect removes the grappled creature from the reach of the grappler or grappling effect, such as when the creature is hurled away by the Thunderwave spell. Escape DC is 14. You're going to contest that with strength or dex, I believe.
Yep.
Until the grapple ends, the target is also restrained, which means the restrained creature's speed becomes 0 and it can't benefit from bonuses to its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage.
Is there an instance, because, it always says, like, when this creature is grappled, it's also restrained. Is there an instance of being grappled but not restrained?
Well, it needs to say both things, because an adventurer can grapple somebody, but it doesn't automatically restrain them.
Oh,
it just makes it so they can't get away.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So you guys can still attack each other like normal, but they can't get away.
Okay, interesting.
Restrained gives the other benefits. It's like when your limbs are pinned down and shit. You're not just like grabbed by the cuff of the shirt and your arms are still free or whatever.
Oh, okay. No, okay. You've made sense of it to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Attack rolls against the creature have advantage and disadvantage. We already said that. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws as well when they're restrained. The salamander can automatically hit the target with its tail, and the salamander can't make tail attacks against other targets.
Yeah.
So you do not want to. So you have to spend your turn. You have to spend your action in
Getting
your
out of
turn,
the tail.
like relieving the grapple, like contesting it. If you don't do that, you're gonna get punished pretty hard.
Yeah,
'Cause he's
exactly.
gonna auto hit you.
Auto hit plus the heated body damage as well.
Yes. So, heated body is you hitting them, not them hitting you.
Oh, is that how it works? It's not just.
Oh, wait. Or hits when a creature that touches a salamander or hits
You're touching
with a
it 'cause
melee
you're grappled
attack.
by it.
Yeah. So I guess every turn you're going to take
So you
this
take
fire
2d
damage.
2d6 fire damage plus the auto tail damage. Yeah,
That's fairly powerful.
yeah. You need to get the fuck out of that grapple ASAP.
Yeah. Challenge rating 5. That's pretty. Yeah. This all starting to make sense.
it's
A
a
lot of
beefy little
splash
guy.
damage. A lot of extra stuff.
I like it.
Variations. Like if you're grappled, restrained with the tail, and it starts two-handing you with this fucking chompy spear. Ooh, nasty. And there's a satyr.
Hey, Cider.
Hey, buddy.
So any questions about salamanders? Anything you want to add?
I like the purple flame hair. I like the idea of like the different colors of fire being like
Represented?
incorporated. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, everything's red and orange. It's like, no, there's lots of colors of fire.
It's a really cool piece of art for the salamander. I like it a lot.
Green fire and blue fire and white fire and like chemicals, man.
Absolutely, chemicals. All right, I think it's time that we take a long rest.
Let's do that.
Shout out to Demon Gorgon. Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the long rest. This is the part of the episode where we forget about what we just talked about and talk about something else. Get ready for bed. Put on comfy shoes known as slippies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forgot about the slippies.
It rained yesterday.
It did.
and I had
It
some
rained.
slippies on for it.
That's not a good combination. Oh,
I mean, I
you
was
stayed
inside.
Okay, gotcha.
okay.
I was like, dang, you were out in the rain in slippies?
I did go out in the rain in my slippies to get some mail, and I came back inside. I put my feet up to my fireplace where my pet salamander kind of brought him back to
very
normal.
nice, very nice.
So I guess I didn't forget what we just talked
No,
about.
you
in the last
didn't. You
episode.
brought it up. You made a good reference.
I know. I used to say this during the short rest when we would do bits there. But,
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to bring it back. All right, but we got Patreon shout outs for all the beautiful Patreon people that came into Patreon to patronize us. Patronize me, daddy.
Oh boy.
We got a few of them. Shall we?
We shall.
Shall we think the shit out of them?
Yes, let's do it.
Get ready. You guys ready? I'm gonna think the shit out of you right now. Okay, we got Tristan Merrick.
Thank you, Tristan.
Thank you, Tristan Merrick.
Thank you, Tristan.
Ninetastic.
Thank you, Ninetastic.
Thanks, Ninetastic. Colin Gentry.
Thank you, Colin.
Do you think it's Gentry? Do you think it's a hard G? Or do you think it's Jiffin or Giffin?
I think it's Gentry.
I would say Gentry.
Yeah, I would too.
Colin Gentry, thank you. Oh, boy.
Is that Enchiridion? What does it say?
Oh,
no.
wait.
That's-
Mariko gave us a pronunciation for this, didn't she?
Did she?
Where did she put it?
I don't know.
Oh, dang. We're going to come back to that one.
Okay.
Can you go into the Discord?
I can try.
Thank you. It's in her.
Okay,
section.
gotcha.
Oh, wait. No, she put a YouTube link right here for me. Mariko, you rule.
Okay. Let's get through this ad first.
This is an ad. I don't have YouTube Red. Oh, man. I should have watched this before.
Oh, this is a German. Did you get it?
Eichhörnchen? I see. Okay, there will be a cut there because that was not probably fun to listen to. All right. Thank you, Eichhörnchen Druid.
Eichhörnchen?
It is the German word for squirrel.
Okay. Thank you, Eichhörnchen or
Eichhörnchen
Squirrel Druid.
Thank you, Eichhörnchen Druid.
Thank you.
You dirty squirrel. Thank you, Pierre Yves Halle.
Thank you, Pierre.
Oh, Pierre Yves Halle. Thank you.
Thank you, Pierre.
Shit. Thank you.
Thank you, Pierre.
Samantha Fletcher.
Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you, Samantha. And Harry Pledger.
Thank you, Harry.
I wonder if it's because
He's a pleasure.
he's pledging
Or maybe that's just his
loyalty to T. McGorgan. Oracle 44.
name. Thank you, Oracle 44.
Oh, my bad. Oracle _ 44.
Why is the underscore important? Usually it's not.
It's there.
I mean, okay, fine. Thank you, Oracle _ 44.
Wes Harvin II.
Thank you, Wes Harvin the second.
Thank you. Man, I'm resisting the urge to call you Junior. Wes Harvin II.
Well, you don't know if he's a junior because sometimes seconds are grandsons of the firsts.
That's fair. That's very fair. Then you would just be Junior.
Yeah, I'm a fourth, but it skipped my dad.
Oh, jeez. Thank you, Video Game Devil.
Thank you, Satan.
Thanks.
Thank you, Video Game
Thank
Devil.
you, Digital Satan. Appreciate your re-up. That was a re-up. Hey, baby. Welcome back again. Well, you never left. And another upgrade. We got Eric James.
Thank you, Eric.
Eric James. Thank you. Welcome to tiered contributions, Eric James. Ari the Fox Kid. Welcome home, Ari.
Thank you, Ari
We've
the Fox
definitely
Kid.
said your name before, Ari.
Yes, I believe
Hello again. They're back, William.
Are they back or did they never left?
No, they left,
Oh,
but I
they
think
left.
they're
Okay,
back.
but they're back.
We appreciate that a lot.
Indeed.
You know. Dark Rabbit.
Thank you, Dark Rabbit.
Well, that's an upgrade too. Thank you, Dark Rabbit.
Thank you, Dark Rabbit.
Oh no, damn it. It's Dak Rabbit. There's no R there.
Thank you, Dak Rabbit.
I do legitimately do have a form of dyslexia where my brain
You add
shuffles
letters
numbers around.
Oh, okay.
Mostly numbers, but it did do that just now. It did swap them around, and then I just said the K.
Oh,
I said the
because
K
the
again.
R is after the K. Thank you,
Maybe
Dak
that's
Rabbit.
what happened. Maybe I'm an idiot. Dave Logan, welcome, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. This one's blank. Will, what do I do?
Skip it maybe.
Okay. Well, the next one's blank. Will.
Okay, I think we finished then.
Oh wait, there's no more.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us at Patreon. Hopefully, you're enjoying your Patreon content, and thanks for supporting us. It really helps.
Appreciate your generosity to no end. It helps to buy new chairs, which we are doing.
Yes.
Hey, and thanks to oh man, hang on a second, because I don't want to get the name. I always want to say It's Murdak, isn't it?
I think it's Murdak. Yeah.
Sometimes my brain does that thing, and I want to say Murdark or Murdrick or
Oh, yeah,
something
it's
like
Murdak.
that. But it's Murdak. On Discord, I'm pretty sure I know your real name, but thank you so much. We received the thing you sent us in the P.O. box.
Yes, and thank you very much.
It will keep our feet safe as fuck.
Yes, the best slippies.
The best slippies have boot tread on them. If you guys want to send anything to our P.O. box or whatever, anything to the P.O. box, we will humbly accept it and then brag about it to everybody. So yeah, thanks a lot. For everybody that has sent something to the P.O. box before, you can get that address in the description below. Now let me pull up this checklist. We got shout outs, which we did. We talked about Patreon because that is what the shout outs are. It's like the best way to support us aside from listening to the show.
Yeah.
And if you want to see those sick Salamander lyrics Will wrote, you can look at show notes in the Patreon. If you want to see the show notes written,
I'm going to have to look at it and see if I can turn them into.
It was fucking rad. I just remember like, oh my God, I could hear like, like yes. Leave us an Apple Podcast or Spotify review because it's badass when you do it.
Yes, I would say that's the defining term. It is absolutely badass.
We get they've been consistently. When we were pushing for the 1,000, we were getting a ton of them, and it was awesome. They've sloped off, and we made the 1,000, but they come in and they alternate every other week. We get like a little handful, and then none, and then a little handful, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Let's
Thank
get
you guys.
But you know what? Daddy like more steady streams. So if you've been listening to the show for a long time and you've never reviewed it, we would encourage you to do so because it really does help. And you clearly like it, so tell us that you like it. Make us feel good, like how Bustin makes the Ghostbusters feel good. You know what doesn't feel good?
What?
Blood Eagles.
Oh no!
Unless you're
They're back again.
Unless you're doing it for the Dungeoncast.
No, don't. I mean, do, but don't.
I skip forward to tie that joke in because that's usually the second to last thing. We skip the merch store. If you guys want Dungeoncast swagger, you go into a con or whatever, you want to look fucking D&D-esque, very chill, go buy some merch or whatever.
Indeed.
Jars?
I've been wearing a Dungeoncast shirt and a Dungeoncast hat the entire episode.
That's true. Jar update?
I love them very much.
We got jar update?
Jars? Jar update. Jar?
Yeah, we got jar update.
Oh, you're asking me. I haven't looked. I should look.
We should look. We're going to look after this episode.
Yes, we will.
Spread the word.
Or the Blood Eagle.
Spread it like they do with the Blood Eagle thing. You can follow us on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We got all that shit. And we're going to start doing interviews on the show. I think we're going to get one in the next couple episodes here. And we're going to do them try and do them once a month. So if you are a content creator of some kind or know somebody that is interested in being on the show, reach out to us. We want to do probably... before the long rest segment, we'll slip in a interview. I think so before works. You hear this part on the episode, that we'll have like a nice little. I'll probably keep them pretty short, depending on what we're talking about. I don't want to staple myself into a time, but nothing too long. I think it'd be really cool to get to know some of the content creators out in the D&D world. So if you guys want to be on the show, hit us up. Reach out to us on Twitter or whatever the fuck. We'll talk to you. You can send us an email on thedungeoncast@gmail.com. If you're interested in advertising or anything, you can do that. Or if you just want to say what's up. If you're too good to send snail mail, it's a P.O. box, I mean, it does kind of suck in a way.
Snail mail? I like snail mail.
I do too. I like getting it more than I like sending it.
Sure, that's true.
That's like a lot of things. All right. That's it. We're calling it a game.
We're going to call it a game. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. Dungeoncast.